Good to see you here. This is Walk the Talk, and today we bring you the top 5 millionaires in history who made money during huge crises. Survivalist entrepreneurs is a term used to refer to a special breed of entrepreneurs who emerge in times of crisis. You can hardly hear anyone not groaning and hoping for government intervention when the hard times hit. With the recent coronavirus crisis and the world in a temporary shutdown, millions of people have lost jobs and homes. But as the majority are going down, there are people who operate in the different horizon. There are people who make money in times when everyone's economy is nosediving. Here is our top 5 list of survivalist entrepreneurs. As we dive in, please note, people's net worth changes every day based on the prevalent economic forces and their business engagements. This video is not meant to discredit or hype anyone, but to educate, inform, and inspire you to greater financial goals. Leave us a comment on what you learned from this video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button to catch the next video. Number 5. Michael J. Cullen. Michael Cullen is widely considered to have owned the first supermarket founded in America, known as the King Cullen grocery store chain. He is recognized by the Smithsonian Institution as the inventor of the modern supermarket. With a pile it high, sell it cheap philosophy, Michael ran the first supermarket model in the 1930s and made a fortune amidst the Great Recession. King Cullen is today the 72nd largest supermarket chain in the United States, with 52 stores and hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. Number 4. Charles Darrow. Charles Bruce Darrow was born on August 10, 1889 in Philadelphia. Considered to be the inventor of the Monopoly game, Charles modified the design from Lizzie Maggie's original invention. Charles was a domestic heater salesman from Germantown, a neighborhood in Philadelphia, during the Great Depression. Finding himself out of work after the crash of 1929, Charles spent time modifying the famous landlord's game, and within a year of registering the patent, Darrow became the world's first millionaire game designer. Number 3. J. Paul Getty. Getty was born into a Christian Scottish-American family in Minneapolis and grew up in a relatively well-to-do family that owned a number of oil wells in Oklahoma. But he was not in good books with his father, Mr. Getty Sr. This meant that he received a small portion of his inheritance. But Paul Getty worked his way and shrewdly invested heavily during the Great Depression. He acquired several corporations that were in financial trouble at the time, and he merged all of them into Getty Oil. He later also shrewdly, and what many would consider a gamble, ventured into the Middle East, and by the 1950s was considered one of the richest men in the world. Number 2. John Kennedy Dr. Joseph Patrick Kennedy was an American politician, businessman, and investor. In 1919, Kennedy joined the prominent stock brokerage firm of Hayden, Stone and Company, where he became an expert dealing in the unregulated stock market at the time. In 1923, he left Hayden and set up his own investment company, and subsequently became a multi-millionaire during the bull market of the 1920s, and even wealthier as a result of taking short position in the crash of 1929. He made a large fortune as a stock market and commodity investor, and later rolled over his profits by investing in real estate and a wide range of business industries across the United States. In the 1920s, Kennedy made huge profits by reorganizing and refinancing several Hollywood studios. Several acquisitions were ultimately merged into Radio Keith Opium RKO Studios. And if you didn't know, he is the father of the late J.F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States of America. As usual, before we reveal our number 1 on this list, I want to remind you what would happen to you if you don't subscribe. Absolutely nothing. So go ahead and subscribe. It's free. Number 1. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is quoted to have said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful." That really sums up the man who has been the icon of investing for decades. Born on August 30th, 1930, Buffett is the CEO and chairman of Berkshire Hathaway with a net worth of $71.8 billion US, and as of July 2020. Buffett was especially skilled during the credit debacle. His buys included the purchase of $5 billion in perpetual preferred shares in Goldman Sachs that paid him a 10% interest rate, and also included warrants to buy additional Goldman shares. Goldman also had the option to repurchase the securities at a 10% premium. This agreement was struck between both Buffett and the bank when they struck the deal in 2008. The bank ended up buying back all the shares in 2011. Buffett has over the years made himself one of the richest men in the world by hitting it big in times when others are going down in depression. This is Walk the Talk.